Hello everyone, hope you have a fantastic Monday so far. Welcome back to the waiver weekly transactions. Weekly transactions for the waiver Hello everyone, hope you have a fantastic Monday so far. Welcome to the trades and transactions video for week number 3 of the GBA D-League. Your weekly information on one undrafted Pokemon and their potential... No... What's the expression again? You can't teach an old dog new tricks? Yeah, it seems about right. Hello everyone, hope you have a fantastic Monday so far. Welcome back to the Trades and Transactions show here on the GBA main channel. My name is Tromful, I'll be your host today for all the trades and transactions that went down in week number 3 of the 4th season of the GBA D-League. Now I am substituting for this show, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel very new and I feel very uncomfortable as well, because this show has nothing to do with undrafted Pokemon. Well, a bit, because, you know, we're gonna pick up some undrafted Pokemon and leave some undrafted Pokemon, so, yeah, maybe a bit, so now I don't feel too uncomfortable anymore, which is good, but, now originally there are 2 people on the show, and I do not have a co-host today, so I'll just introduce whoever I want now, so, welcome, Lord Burmy.
Are you just stalling this intro to get more ad revenue? Get on with your shit. Thank you very much, good night, Swedish twat.
Thank you so much for that comment, Lord Burmy. And with that all being said, let's jump right into all the trades and transactions that happened in week number 3. So the first trade for the week is coming in from my boy AA2 for 20, opting to drop the Sylveon and the Aerodactyl for the Clefable and the Archeops. A very interesting trade for sure, since he managed to not gain or lose a single typing in this trade. You know, he switched a Pure Fairy for a Pure Fairy and a Rock Flying for a Rock Flying, so definitely very interesting for sure. But his reasons why he thought that this trade might be beneficial to him was the fact that he thought that Clefable is much better for his team, and mainly due to the fact that the Clefable Thundurus Incarnate and Mega Kangaskhan is much stronger than the Sylveon Thundurus Incarnate and Mega Kangaskhan, which I kind of do agree with. Clefable will also help him in some future matchups. He said he did not make any sort of specifics, which is kind of wise because, you know, other coaches might watch. But Clefable, of course, gives him Stealth Ox in his Fairy, still has the Wish support that Sylveon has, gives him an unaware check to potential setup Pokemon on the opposing side of the field. He loses out on Baton Pass, but he still gains a Calm Mind setup Sweeper if he wants to, and a Cleric, of course, in the Fairy type. And you know, Archeops is kind of the same as Arrow in his opinion, and you know, the only thing that differs is that it is 1 tier lower, but these are still quite fast. It's not as fast as Mega Aerodactyl or regular Aerodactyl, let's not get out of hand, but in his opinion, having to downgrade his Aerodactyl to upgrade his Sylveon is very beneficial for him, which I kind of do agree with. So the next trade comes from my man Greg, aka Gregulator60, and his Los Angeles Clefables, who decided to use all of his free agent moves and just reveal his card, slap him on the table, move shit around, and just create pretty much a completely new team with all of his free agent moves. So he decided to drop the Latias, Lycanroc, and the Muk Alola form in order to pick up the Heatran, Gudra, and Musharna. So definitely a very interesting trade for sure. Now, he wanted me to express the Latias trade with a bit of passion, let's call it that. But since I'm not that angry of a person, I'll leave this over to my dear co-host in order to explain why Greg decided to drop Latias and his reasons and thoughts about it.
Ha, you are weak. Let the real analyst take over. Latias is not a real Pokemon. It's useless garbage. And Greg Ultra 600,000 was better off with literally any other Pokemon in the entire format than that. Let me tell you what I would do if I saw Latias on the street. I would go 200% apeshit on that bastard until it looked like the offspring from Jake Paul and Scrooge McDuck. It's everyday bro. And then I would with a 2 on top sideways and with holy water and a diamond hoe from Minecraft.
Okay, so moving on from that then, he also mentioned that Lycanroc and Muk Alola just are casualties who happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and had to be dropped in order to pick up the rest of the Pokemon that he wanted. So he actually got his hands on the Heatran, Gudra and Misharna. And Heatran offers him a good special breakery things. It is a very powerful Pokemon with a useful typing, especially with that Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor and the Heatran forms a very difficult double steel core to break for an opponent. And of course you can pivot in on fire type moves very easily due to the Flash Fire ability. And Gudra adds on to that. Gudra is a very specially bulky Pokemon, of course, has a bunch of coverage, can definitely help him out with the team, especially with all that momentum he has on this team with a bunch of U-turns and Volt Switch and stuff like that. I definitely do respect the Gudra pickup. You know, shout outs to my man Greg picking up the bigger version of the Stromful icon, or the Stromful mascot. Shout outs to Gumi, of course. It is a very bulky pivot. It can definitely pivot in on stuff like grass or water type moves, which he can struggle a bit with on his team at the moment. Since Seismitoad is the only way he really deals with water types, and you know, Seismitoad is 4 times weak to grass, so Gudra will definitely help with that. And last but not least, he said that Misharna is aids to prepare for, and bulky psychics are always good for teams, so that's why he picked that Pokemon up. All around, I do agree with these traits. I think that Greg's team will be much better with these Pokemon on his roster. And last but not least, coming in from Crobat for the win and the Los Angeles Nidokings, Arcanine will actually be dropped in order to pick up the Alola Marowak. And since you know Crobat for the win, he's the Sports Clips mastermind, I want to highlight that fact by adding some Sports Clips to his trades as well. And you know, you'll see that in just a bit. But his reasonings for dropping Arcanine is that Arcanine provides a lot of bulk for the team, which is not really needed since he has a very fat region core with Tangrowth and Toxapex, so the loss of Arcanine is not really that big. And I really do agree with him here. Having another very bulky Pokemon in order to support Tangrowth and Toxapex is like having competitive walking, in my opinion. There's no real point of it. But the new edition of Alola Marowak will provide some crucial rules for the Los Angeles Nidokings, such as the spin blocking rule. It can stop Volt Switch momentum by just pivoting in, since it does have that lightning rod ability. It is very important for setting up those stealth hooks, and of course it is a huge wall breaker. There's not a lot of Pokemon in the entire metagame which wants to switch into the dual stab of a thick club boosted Alola Marowak.
Bugs Bunny, right field, Bugs Bunny, pitching, Bugs Bunny, third base, Bugs Bunny, center field, Bugs Bunny, first base, Bugs Bunny, shortstop, Bugs Bunny, second base, Bugs Bunny. Come on now, right over the old plate, right down the old alley. This guy's a pushover. Come on now, boy, give it to him.
So that's gonna do it for all the trades and transactions that went down for the 3rd week of the 4th season of the GBA D-League. You can always go down to the comment section and comment all your thoughts and feelings about the trades that went down. Whether you liked them or disliked them, it really doesn't matter. You can always share your opinions on which Pokemon your favorite coach should drop or pick up in order to make you feel better about the team, or maybe even to make the team feel better in general. But if you feel like the comment section is too opinionated, you can always head over to Discord, talk to your friends, talk in the GBA fan Discord, share your opinions on the trades. But if you don't have any friends for some reason, you can just, I don't know, head over to IKEA customer support chat and talk to some stranger and share your opinions there. The possibilities are endless for you, which is why we love the internet so much. But with that all being said, I want to thank you so much for watching. I've been your host Stromful, and I'll see all of you for week 4 of Trades and Transactions.